Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your monthly horoscope, and this one's for you, Pisces. We're coming into May, and you can use the first half of the month to take care of some important communications and implement some new plans. There's still a lot of forward moving astrological energy during the first half of the month. Now we're going to have a new moon in Taurus on May the 11th that is especially favorable for business related communications. The second part of May is going to be dominated by the energy of several planets in Gemini, and that may turn your focus to home and family. Now, May 15th is the date we enter the shadow phase of an upcoming Mercury retrograde cycle. So it's important to initiate new agreements and make your most important connections early in the month. You can use the second half of May to slow down, and we're going to have a full moon eclipse at the end of the month, which will really highlight your professional life as well as your public image, and you might be recognized for your work, for a job well done. You could also have an important realization about your approach to a long-term goal. So let's back up to the very beginning of the month, and I'll run through everything. We've got the sun shining in Taurus through May the 19th. This lends a grounding energy to communications, and business agreements are going to be particularly favored through May the 14th. You're going to have the most success with a methodical, thorough plan. Avoid rushing or cutting corners. You're really being supported to slow down and make sure things are in place before proceeding with a new plan. Now, on the 20th, the sun moves into Gemini, and this might bring a greater understanding about a home or family matter for you. It's likely that something needs to be negotiated or discussed with loved ones in order to solidify a plan or at least get on the same page together. Ask a lot of questions and be willing to keep an attitude of flexibility. Gemini energy brings that out in everyone, realizing there's maybe more than one right way to do something. Now, because we're approaching a Mercury retrograde cycle that starts on May 29th, the end of the month is going to be ideal for research, for writing or editing, contemplative practices. Definitely, it's a great time to streamline your schedule and focus on tasks that you can accomplish on your own. We've got Venus entering Gemini May the 8th, and Venus will be in Gemini May the 8th all the way through June the 1st. This is offering support for home improvement or decorating projects, loving communications with family members, anything to do with your home and those closest to you. Venus can really lend a warm, compassionate energy, and expressing through the sign of Gemini, it adds a flair of creativity, of innovation, of trying to do things maybe differently than you've done them before. The days between May the 8th and May the 14th will be the most supportive for new home-related projects or real estate transactions. Now, let's talk about this new moon. It's May 11th. It's going to be at 21 degrees of Taurus. You can use the power of this new moon to set intentions related to communications, anything to do with learning, taking classes. It's also really good for intentions having to do with advertising or marketing. Business networking, security is also highlighted at this new moon, as well as long-term commitments. Now, the days between May 11th and May 14th, just after that new moon, are the best days this month for new beginnings. We're getting that burst of new moon energy, and we're still outside the shadow phase of the Mercury retrograde cycle. It's a real sweet spot in the month, so take advantage of that. Now, when Mercury does station retrograde, May 29th, that cycle goes all the way until June 22nd. So if you haven't gotten anything new off the ground by mid-month, I wouldn't try to force it towards the end of May or June. We're really being directed during that time period to slow down and finish things that we've already started. So keep that in mind. Now, the end of the month, we have our first eclipse of 2021. This is pretty exciting. It's on May 26th. It's a full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. If you were born on or around February 24th of any year, or say you are a Pisces rising person around 5 degrees Pisces rising, this full moon eclipse could feel quite intense for you. It tends to stir up emotions. When you have a heads up that that's coming, it can be really helpful to work with that energy. Give yourself some space. You could have a realization that rocks the boat somehow in your world. But it's ultimately going to help you move in a successful direction. Really pay attention to what comes up around this time. Now, all Pisces and Pisces rising people, no matter what your birthday, will benefit from this full moon eclipse because it's highlighting your purpose and your work in the world, what you're called to do. This could be focusing on your profession or perhaps spiritual work that uplifts yourself and others. Perhaps there's a combination of both for some people. You can really take advantage of this energy and learn more about the eclipses of 2021 in a separate video that is on the channel that I've made. It's called Eclipses of 2021. Check it out. This is just the first of 4 total eclipses for the year. And it's always good to track them. They tend to be turning points where the energy begins to shift. So even if nothing new happens exactly on that date, although sometimes it can, especially once you start working with the eclipses, you can really get a sense that you see things more clearly at these full moon lunar eclipses, and you have information now that you needed to make an important decision or move forward. So think about all that, and hopefully you can use it well, and please be safe and well, and I look forward to seeing you soon for your horoscope next month.